Hi, in this video we're going to be going over one of the most challenging digital SAT questions I've ever come across since they changed the format of the test. So this is a real doozy of a question if you don't know how to break it down. But we do know how to break it down, and you will see here how. All right, so here we have a really long equation. We have a bunch of stuff being multiplied and the answer is 0, and they're not even asking us to solve it. They're telling us that the solutions, because there are multiple solutions, is going to have a product of 64. Now, they're not even, again, asking us, okay, what are those solutions? They're asking us, what is the value of k? So we have this unknown k, this unknown constant thrown into the question. All right, let us see how to tackle this. All right, so what you should notice first is that we have 4 things being multiplied. So that's being multiplied by that, which is being multiplied by that, and being multiplied by that, and the answer is 0. So if you recognize that and you know that when you have 4 things being multiplied or any number of things being multiplied and the answer is 0, that means that at least one of them have to be 0. So that is very helpful here. Now we also know that 5/8 cannot be equal to 0, so that simplifies the question a little bit for us, and we can move on from there. We don't have a k here, so that also makes things a little bit easier for us as well. So now we can start off by saying, all right, we know that 5x plus 8 equals 0 is going to give us one of the solutions. So we can go ahead and solve that. Subtract 8 from both sides, you get that 5x is equal to -8. And divide both sides by 5, and we get that x is equal to -8 over 5. All right, so now we have taken care of finding one of the solutions, which will help us. Now here is what I want you to recognize. Here we have 2 things, one here and one here, that are very similar. This is the difference of 2 perfect squares. We know this because the same values are here as are here, and the only thing that's different are the signs, which means that our solutions that come out of this parentheses and this parentheses are going to be the same value, just different signs. One is going to be positive and one is going to be negative, and it doesn't matter which is which. Now, keeping that in mind, if one of these values, one of these solutions is negative, when you multiply it by this solution, that negative sign is going to go away. So we can almost disregard this negative sign as we keep working through the problem. All right, hopefully that makes sense. If it did not make sense, hopefully it will make sense in a few minutes. All right, so here we have 3 solutions that are going to happen. Now, when you multiply them, the answer is 0. I am going to write my first number as 8 over 5. Again, I'm disregarding that negative sign because it's going to ultimately not matter, because it's going to have another negative that will cancel it out. All right, the 2 values or the 2 solutions that come out of these 2 parentheses are going to have the same absolute value. And again, I'm just disregarding those signs. It makes our lives easier if we don't think about the signs for now. And because there are 3 solutions, 3 x values, I'm just going to name it P because I want to keep it straight. All right, so here we have 8 over 5P times P. So I'm just going to say P squared. P, again, is the solution that comes out of that and out of that. One is negative, but again, ignoring that negative. When we multiply all 3 solutions, so the 8 over 5, the P and the P, or if you want to be exact, the negative 8 over 5, the P and the negative P, our answer is 64. So now we can go ahead and solve for P, and that is going to bring us a large portion of the way through this question. So multiply both sides by 5, and I get that 8P squared is equal to 320. And then divide both sides by 8, and I get that P squared is equal to 40. If I square root both sides, I get that P is the square root of 40. All right, so here is where the beauty of this question starts to come together. All right, let me use my little purple highlighter here. Right here, we see 5k plus 8. And right here, we see root 5k plus 8. And right here, we see root 40. Root 40. That is the match that we've been looking for, because we know that the solution that comes out from here, like this x value right here, is root 40. And you know that this whole thing has to be equal to 0. So root 40, I'll focus on this one. Root 40 minus root 40 is equal to 0. So that is going to give the solution. So here we have root, let's check that pencil off. Root 5k plus 8 is equal to root 40, which means we can actually just disregard that square root sign, or if you want to be formal, we can square both sides, and we get that 5k plus 8 is equal to 40. Subtract 8 from both sides, and we get that 5k is equal to 32, and divide both sides by 5, and you get that k is equal to 32 over 5. And that is our solution. Now that could not be solved in this way with Desmos. So while Desmos is a fantastic tool for solving hard algebra questions, they have found a way to still require you to know some math. And this is a great example of a question that does require you to know some math. And hopefully this helped.